Disdain without the Kroeder Kroghen. Hello and welcome again to Kroeder Kroghen. I hope you all had a happy and peaceful Christmas. I certainly did. Hag y carson rydych without her, put belong just there, dragon viven knoweth. And I'd like to give you again every good wish for the new year. Now those of you who have met me in the flesh know that there's rather a lot of flesh to meet, and I added to it fairly substantially over the Christmas period, like I suspect most of you did as well. But I also did my fair share of the other Christmas activities, including going to 2 services of carols and lessons in Cornish. I advertised the Liscard one, the St.Ives near Liscard one, fairly substantially, and there was another one in Lelant that I went to. Now, I know you'll have heard a lot of Christmas carols over the holiday, but you won't have heard all that many in Cornish, I suspect. So if you want to know what Once in Royal David City sounds like in Cornish, here's an example. And there you are, there's an example. The Gospels of the New Testament have been translated into Cornish, and the Christmas readings usually come from that New Testament, of course. The Christmas readings at Lelant were given all by adults, apart from one reader who was 9-year-old Suzanne Knight. I think she was a little shy, but she made a very good job of it, as you can hear. I asked Suzanne afterwards whether she'd enjoyed the experience. Kroeder, beth yw'r hanol? Happy Blues also. Suzanne, you've been reading a reading there in Cornish. Did you know what it was about?
Jesus' birthday.
Jesus' birthday. Were you nervous?
Sort of. Not really sure if I wasn't.
A little bit nervous. Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Your dad's a very fluent Cornish speaker, isn't he? Are you learning some Cornish from him?
Yes, I am.
And do you speak some Cornish at home sometimes?
Yes.
Okay. So if I say to you, Dugenes ha Muraz, you know that means goodbye and thank you, yeah?
Yes.
Dugenes. 9-year-old Suzanne Knight. Now, I have to confess that as well as those more respectable activities, I also did a fair bit of tucking into the old plum duff. Or in fact, to be more precise, it was the Pluty Puddin'. And if that doesn't sound very Cornish to you, I shouldn't be surprised, because it's in fact Scottish. Connie Aiton, who's a well-known folk singer and a very Cornish lass, is married to a very Scottish Scot. And we usually go to Connie's for the New Year's Eve celebration, and quite a few other Cornish speakers go there as well. And this year, I asked Rod Lyon and Julia Allard from Agantavas, who were there, what their New Year resolutions were. Aga ambozul, ragan vliven noas. And Rod talked about a resolution he had made not to ever chemis, drink so much, and talked about gwyn, ha korev, wine and beer. And we also mentioned megi, which is the Cornish for to smoke. You'll hear that Julia confesses that she sometimes smokes. Here are megi trawithiu.
I'm Bodo, I'm not we're Bodo. Nangeli says me unwaith, na gofyn eifr cefnus, neu fod yn kind of do zaithen, ffils o'r am bod o, mi'r tegus gan mi'r wyn a mi'r gorau.
Ie, mi'n werth. Julia, beth sydd am?
O, na, ddim sydd am bod rhys yn sylwedd. Na, ddim sydd.
Peth i gans yn Meggy, gans yn...
Ie, gans pwtro,
ie. Gans pwtro.
Dwi'n rhaid yn Meggy.
Ie, trwysio.
Trwysio?
Ie, ie. Helchu y dynion, petron panad, ie, Brinton. Ie.
Well, okay, through that, But they weren't going to let me get away with that, of course, because they wanted to know what my New Year's resolution was. O ambos fi rag yn blygyn nos. And I had to confess that mine was dibri le, to eat less, because as I explained at the end, it seems to me that I gain weight just by breathing. Mi ara gwain poster o tanella.
Yeah,
okay. Raise it in the dibri le. Radio.
Well, we on case, we war. No, I'm a dibri ray, mate. TV, raggy, when you poster.
Yeah.
And great did it. The Wrigley dibri ray made me ring is three things. Great did it. Het Hansel, het Lee. TV, raggy, so it.
Yeah. Mi ar gwain poster o tanella, mi ysio.
We're going through, yeah, when you poster.
And I doubt if any of us will really keep those resolutions. Still, you never know. Well, as well as being an extraordinarily fluent Cornish speaker, Rod Lyon's pretty hot stuff on the old accordion as well. And our New Year's Eve celebration at Connie's is always packed with music. She has, in fact, just recently made a tape of her own. I believe Chris Blount has played a couple of tracks from it. And I'll be playing one or two a bit later on as well. But for today, here's a little extract from the glorious accordion playing of Rod Lyon. Maestro Rod Lyon on the accordion there. Well, in return for my clooty puddin', which means, incidentally, I should have explained, a pudding cooked in a cloth. It's a cross between a Christmas pudding and a spotted dick. We call it a Christmas dick in the end. In return for that, I promised that I would play a track from Connie's tape, which I will do another week. And I also promised that I would give the Agantavas pair the chance to advertise their Flows Her Furnace tape, which I have mentioned before on the programme, and some of you may be interested in actually getting a copy of. So I asked Julia Allard where people who wanted to get a copy should write, and she gave the address. Fifty Hallow and Snod.
Oh, Hallow and Snod, you Flows Her Furnace.
Yeah, Happy Ghost.
Kostar post, you dupings a hundred cans dinar, Adi was to see.
Dupings a hundred cans dinar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll raise you the penny of a garsa capos, Gascriff and Snod.
Yes, Scrifford
Visage, Julia Allard.
4 Westmore Crescent.
Westmore
Crescent. Paramount Station. Truro.
To that, from around.
That message.
So we've had a fairly lively start to the new year, speaking lots of Cornish, eating and drinking happily, also enjoying ourselves in church at those lessons and carols services, and making new friends as well as meeting old. I'll play you out this week with the Sweet Nightingale that we sang together with Connie leading the singing at our New Year's Eve party. Austelu vi respenas golnadelic brintin ha pyralone, and I hope the Christmas and New Year have been as good for you as well, and look forward to seeing you again next week on Kroeder Kroghen.
in the valley.